Guys, what's going on? Hope everyone is doing good. Today is Friday, and it's a little bit of a special Friday because I just finished the last week of our Korean language course at Sogang. So we're done. We're more or less free, although we have one last speaking exam on Monday. And then after class, just to kind of celebrate, I went to a nearby Mexican restaurant with a few of my classmates, had a burrito and stuff like that. But anyways, yesterday I didn't even bring this up as a topic. I just got to talk into it with a few of the people who I live with, and at first it was a joke, but I guess it was a little bit later. We just talked more and more about it. So I wrote this title a little bit as a joke because for me, it's almost like, of course, you should get a maid if you can, because it will save you. It will save you time. However, some people I live with, or really other people. It's not just them. I'm sure there are many people who would think the same thing. Said, no, it's not really necessary, or you don't need a maid. But my point was not that it's necessary because many things that we have or do are really not necessary. I mean, the computer you're using isn't necessary. The phone that you have isn't necessary. The nice car that so it's not a question of what's necessary. And the point that I tried to make was you can't be worse off having more time, because if you have a maid that's going to free up your time, it basically by definition has to put more time back into your day, because they're basically doing something for 1 or 2 or more hours that you would have spent your time doing. So most of the time it's trivial stuff. It's like cooking and cleaning, washing your socks, and like mopping the floor and stuff. So I don't consider that important in any way. And if someone else could do it, that's perfectly fine by me. Another consideration is that if I don't like doing it and someone else is okay with it or even likes it, then it's better for us to trade those things, because one, maybe that maid person gets to do something they like. They also get paid for it. So that's like it's basically a job creation, you could say. If I took the approach where I was like, no, I'm going to do it on my own, then the maid industry wouldn't really exist, and that would be one less job for many people out there. So, but anyways, that's an outside consideration, but it's still something to be thought of. And then the people I was discussing with who had opposing viewpoints, one point brought up was that it's for like self development or something like that. Which, I mean, everyone, like I said, you can have your own opinion. I'm just here to try to add to the pool of information or opinions that you have. But that's just another thing I didn't see it as. So I don't see it as a question of whether it's necessary or not. I don't see it as a question of whether you have the ability to do something or it somehow improves your self development. Although I can kind of see where that argument comes from, because I have heard a lot of people say, it's a good habit to, when you wake up in the morning, simply make your bed and clean up after yourself. So I understand where that point is coming from. I'm just not completely for it. I don't think it's 100% necessary. I mean, if given the option between not doing that stuff, not cleaning up after yourself, and doing it, of course, you should do it. You should try to be a clean, tidy person. However, between the option of you doing it yourself or hiring a maid and using your time to do other, perhaps more productive stuff, then definitely go with the maid. Um, Another thing is, I think it's largely a question of like, can you afford to have a maid? Now, I'm definitely not really. I consider myself lower socioeconomic, but fortunately, I live in Asia, so it's much more affordable. If it was in the U.S., I'd really have to think about it, or I'd get it like very part time, not every day, and they probably wouldn't cook for me. But that's a completely different situation when you're in a developed economy like the U.S., because you don't need it as much, and I can buy stuff that would replace having a cook. I could buy a laundry service on my app. I could order a laundry service on my app and have it done quickly and efficiently, and that would replace the functions of a maid. Anyways, just consider that if you have some extra money, I would definitely get a maid. I don't see it's a question of time or money. Like, are you going to keep a few extra $100 per month, or would you rather free up 1 or 2 extra hours per day? And if you are able to use that 1 or 2 hours productively, then are more suitable to get a maid. So, if you're, just to give an easy example for us to work with, some sort of highly skilled person, let's just say you're a surgeon. Again, I'm not making this comparison to me because I'm nothing near a surgeon. I'm just using it as an easy example. If you're a surgeon and you had to cook and clean and do all your own stuff, and you could only do one surgery a day, versus if you had a maid and you could do two surgeries a day, I think the answer is easy, and it's better at large for society to have a higher efficiency economy and society doing things like that. The other, let's put another scenario to make it even more obvious. Let's say you're the surgeon, you can only do one surgery a day, and when you have a maid, you can still only do one surgery per day. It's still better to have the maid. So you only have to focus on the most important thing of your day. If you go into the operating room and you're worried about all this stuff, you have to think about what you're going to eat. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to having to do, daily stuff. It would be better for everyone basically to exercise that option. So, anyways, I'm just one person. This is my viewpoint, but I can tell you that if you trade your money for time, or if you value your time more and you're able to use it productively, then you're gonna be able to build upon that. It's gonna make things. It's gonna have a multiplier effect into the future. Whereas, if you're just using your time and I don't know, you it really depends on preference, because here I'm not taking into account people that do actually enjoy doing that for themselves. But I will say, yeah, the most successful people, they don't spend their time, washing their own socks and cooking their own food and washing their lettuce and stuff. No, they're doing more important things. And if I want to move in that direction, then I should take note, and I should try to maximize my time and use it on things that are more important. I just don't think that washing your socks and mopping the floor and stuff is really that important in the grand scheme of things. So hey, I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys agree or disagree. I know either you're watching this and you agree, or you're watching and you think, man, that's one lazy guy. Because there's definitely more than a few people who take both sides of the aisle. But either way, hope everyone out there is doing great. And yeah, send me a comment when you guys get a maid too. Take care. See ya.